In the previous episode, we saw Malfoy carry the injured number 24 into his laboratory and channel the electric beat's energy into her to heal her wounds. Gazing at her, he vowed that, whatever it took, he would revive his master, Elizabeth. Half-conscious, number 24 heard his words and thought, "Why are you so persistent? For this friendship I absolutely cannot give up." She understood everything, yet she did not want to bear the hope Malfoy had placed on her. Summoning her resolve, she broke through her limits. She could now generate electricity on her own, without any external source. Grateful, she thanked Malfoy for saving her life. Sparks crackled around her body, and a stray bolt struck Malfoy, making him cry out in pain. Number 24 hurried to him, apologizing and asking if he was all right. He told her to keep her distance. Merely being near her had already paralyzed him. To his astonishment, he realized that this lightning fairy's demon rank had reached at least Demon Lord, and it was still rising. Ashamed, number 24 offered to leave, but Malfoy grabbed her and insisted he needed her. Lightning coursed through him, yet he refused to let go. "If I can't overcome this trial," he gasped, "I'll never be worthy." Number 24 begged him to release her. She could not control the current in her body and would electrocute him to death? What could I possibly have that is worth his risking everything? She wondered. The lightning ravaged Malfoy's body until black tendrils burst from him, scavenging materials from the laboratory's refuse. Activating his corpse cocoon room and cadaveric chrysalis techniques, he sealed number 24 inside a small box. "This will restrict your power," he explained, "but it will stabilize you and let you stay with me." Number 24 was happy that they could finally remain together. Malfoy then placed the box before the cloning vat he had prepared to recreate Elizabeth. He asked if number 24 was ready. She hesitated, then poured all her electricity into the vat to power the resurrection. The energy, however, was insufficient. Furious, Malfoy shouted, frustrated by his inability to obtain infinite magic. Number 24 approached, apologizing, unsure what she had done wrong. Malfoy demanded to know who had damaged Her Majesty's hair. Such an act violated the laws of magic. Suddenly he realized that if number 24's lightning could harm Elizabeth, who was immune to magic, then mastering that power might allow him to enter Elizabeth's very body. "If I can wield this power, I can resurrect Her Majesty and stay with her forever." Number 24 smiled shyly and asked whether she had done well, but Malfoy barely noticed. All his thoughts were fixed on Elizabeth, on reviving her and living with her for eternity. Meanwhile, in the real world, the minister, now controlling number 24, was battling the Thunder Fairy, wielding the chaotic power of the Dark Sea to invade her mind. Beside him loomed Azathoth, Lord of the Sea of Darkness, his sinister form wreathed in shadows. "Stop wasting time," Azathoth growled. "Get her inside." "Don't worry," the minister replied. "I promised you, and I'll keep my word." Azathoth smirked. "You haven't even captured the girl yet. Can you really forge 10,000 gears in a single month?" "With this Thunder Fairy," the minister said, smiling, "our energy problem is solved. We no longer need the girl's schematics. The Dark Guild is already falling apart. Some have fled, others have scattered. You should be pleased. Soon, with your help, you'll be able to enter this world." Azathoth disliked admitting it, but the minister was right. After Elizabeth's seal was broken, he had wagered on 3 separate pawns. The one who now proved most useful was the one he had least expected. The minister knelt and raised a device from the earth, an alchemical metallurgy chamber. He swung the gate open. "Azathoth, put the Thunder Fairy in here." Azathoth cast an illusion, appearing in the fairy's mind as Malfoy. "Come," he coaxed, "step inside and give everything to me." Entranced, the Thunder Fairy obeyed and entered the container. On the far side of the realm, Elizabeth released Princess Pytheus from her restraints. The princess eyed them warily. "You're not bounty hunters hired by the kingdom?" Le Ping shook his head. "Just as you first mistook us for members of the Dark Guild. This is all a misunderstanding. Please, sit and talk with us. What is happening in the kingdom? Why would the Princess of Aristotle attack her own supply trains?" "It's simple," Pytheus answered. "I need to cut off the kingdom's resources so Aristotle collapses and everyone can be freed." Le Ping introduced himself and Elizabeth. "I am the legendary hero, And she is the legendary devil. We've come to persuade Aristotle to join the Hero Alliance and fight the Dark Guild together. What we don't understand is why you want to destroy your own kingdom. Is this a struggle for the throne? Pythius blinked. Legendary hero? Legendary devil? I've never heard of either. And I don't know what Hero Alliance you're talking about. Right now the chaotic forces of the Dark Sea are a far greater threat than the Dark Guild. Leping, hearing of the Dark Sea for the first time, turned to Elizabeth. Is that what Miss Gigi mentioned earlier? Elizabeth frowned. I don't recall. She worried about what Leping planned to tell her in a month's time. Leping faced the princess again. Miss Pythius, please, tell us everything about this Dark Sea. It began when I was a child, she said, even though Aristotle had already closed its borders. Elizabeth raised a hand, flames flickering at her fingertip. At this rate our conversation will last forever, she said, activating forced memory retrieval. She linked minds with Pytheus and with Leping, hoping to glimpse his secrets as well. Memories unfurled. A young Pytheus, endlessly curious about machinery, watched her teacher craft a mechanical rabbit. Fascinated, she borrowed his tools and built her own, one that walked by itself. Stunned, the teacher realized she was no ordinary girl. He taught her everything he knew, and by adulthood she solved equations he could scarcely comprehend. One day he led her into a hidden laboratory, the culmination of his life's research. When the princess examined the diagrams, she found nothing impressive. Calmly, she wiped every equation from the blackboard, work her teacher had spent a lifetime refining. Alarmed, he begged her to stop, but then he looked closer and froze. The new formula she sketched made the impossible, true energy conversion seem feasible. Pointing to the revised drawing, Pythius explained, if we divide the magical flow into separate circuits, each section can run below its overload threshold. A few days later, she returned with the materials he had requested, eager to see the prototype. What she discovered instead horrified her. The kindly old scholar was experimenting on living humans. Smiling apologetically, he said he had decided to perform the first test without waiting for her. Watch closely, he urged. This is the chaotic power of the Dark Sea. Unlike ordinary mana, it is a primordial force that can rewrite life itself. For 60 years I searched for a way to stabilize it. Your invention has solved the problem. He pressed a dark gear into his chest. Instantly his body grew young again. If we mass-produce the power of chaos, he declared, humanity will shatter the limits of lifespan and evolve to a higher form. Aristotle will rule the brave continent. Pythius recoiled. She had never intended her research to endanger lives, yet, seeing no escape, she pretended to cooperate. Half a month passed. When the teacher asked how long purification would take, she answered that reaching 80% purity was difficult but possible. The moment he inserted the newly refined gear, his guards stiffened and raw energy surged through him. Azathoth, hidden inside his flesh, realized too late that Pythius had reversed the flow of chaos. The teacher's body exploded. While they were away, she had steeled the guard's desire to help her destroy him. Without hesitation, she flew to the castle to warn her parents, only to find them motionless on their thrones, lifeless husks. Worse still, the teacher, whom she had just seen disintegrate, now stood before her in a grotesque, insect-like form. He laughed. Poison against poison, brilliant, but mankind fears death above all, and your father and mother were no exception. Did you really think they knew nothing? That was the turning point. Pythius gathered the surviving soldiers and formed a rebel band to fight the kingdom of Aristotle. Leping asked, why didn't you seek help from the Dwarven Kingdom or the Sword Saint Guild? I've had no contact with the outside world, she replied. The Minister of Science placed a bounty on me. I don't know whom to trust. Her followers nodded. The princess had saved and transformed them, giving them a second life. They would gladly die for her. If the minister continues, Pythius said, everyone in the royal city will be sacrificed to the Dark Sea. He can't build a complete conversion device without my schematics yet, but it's only a matter of time. Our only hope is to cut off the kingdom's resources and force him into the open.